Hi there, Richard the Dick Coughlin 000, and it's time for... Yes, it's the Dix O News, the only news show that brings you all the stories nobody gives a shit about. This week's episode is sponsored by Muslimic ray guns. Shit just got real. Let's kick off this week's episode with my favourite group of whipping boy fucktards, the EDL. Yes, for the last 28 days, ladies and gentlemen, you might not realise this, but the EDL has been staging an epic protest outside Kentucky Fried Chicken in Blackburn. It's 28 days they have been protesting Kentucky Fried Chicken. Here is a picture on day 28. Let's go there now, live. I'm not making it up, that is the turnout for the protest. Now, the 28-day protest they're having there is because they've just found out that KFC has been serving halal chicken, something they've actually been doing for the last 10 years. And they've been protesting this because this is a sign, obviously, of Islamification. Absolutely no complaint has been made about the fact that also they serve kosher food as well. And they also seem to have not taken into account the fact that all meat in this country, whether it's halal, kosher, or just plain ordinary, has to be fucking stunned before it's killed, because it's got to meet Western standard fucking practices in slaughtering. Even on their Facebook page commented that this is a fucking disgrace, only 6 people turned up. We look like a right bunch of cunts. It's ironic considering that it was only a few years ago that KFC were actually being sued by Muslims and Jews in areas in this country after it was revealed that they were using pork juice to actually inflate the size of their chicken. You can't please everyone, can you? And plus, considering that almost every single fast food joint and supermarket in this country sells halal, the BNP will have to boycott all them, which means if they actually do that, they could starve to death within a few weeks. I'm all for it. Moving on, as we approach the most epic contest of the year, ladies and gentlemen, of course I'm talking about Miss Universe. And rather than enter the usual indigenous sort of lady that we have, the usual bunch of wonky-tooth fucking rippers that we might normally go in there, we've got this lady who's trying to get in there. Her name is Shana Bakari, and she wants to be the first Muslim woman to ever represent Great Britain in Miss Universe. Unfortunately, this has caused her a bit of a problem. Yes, you might have guessed it, she's been receiving death threats. Who from? Well, from radical Muslims. Oh, and white skinhead nationalists. Oh, and radical feminists as well. Now, can I ask all of you, calm the fuck down. How do you expect us to be able to get Islam into the 21st century and allow them to reject this idea of oppressing women unless we allow one Muslim woman to take part in one of the usual patronising beauty pageants where she will be fucking treated like a piece of meat and put on parade for the sight of gawping men who are sitting there wanking? It's only fair. News from America, and this man, Drew Cole, who's a 32-year-old homosexual Mormon, yes, I said it right, homosexual can join the Mormon church, but as long as they take a vow of celibacy and don't actually engage in any sexual activity. We wouldn't want that. They don't have magic underpants, they're cast iron fucking chastity belts. He has recently been rejected and kicked out of the Mormon church because he refused to let go and denounce all of his gay friends. I believe when he was asked this, his exact words were, "I wish I knew how to quit you." Seeing as this is their policy, maybe they should change their name from the Mormon Church to the Less Men Church. Because he's queer. Anyway, in this week's Christians Can Get Away With Anything When Everyone's Shit Scared of Muslims story, this is a picture of Lucy Adenji. She is a church pastor in Barking in East London. She's 21 years old and she's just recently been charged by bringing in 2 children to work as servants from Africa. I wouldn't mind, this bitch has got 5 children. Can't she fucking have a couple more? In Coughlin Told You So, story of the fucking week, remember Pastor Terry Jones, the guy who last year threatened to burn a Quran on September the 11th and everyone went fucking mental? The guy who bottled it at the end, why? Because he was given a car by Toyota if he promised not to fucking burn a Quran? Well, guess what he did recently? Yes, he burnt a Quran. Not only did he burn a Quran, but he actually had a fucking fake kangaroo court, and they actually sentenced the Quran for crimes against humanity and then burnt it in an execution. And in the final story this week, it turns out that apparently sex can kill you if you don't exercise. A recent study was performed by a woman called Dr. Isa Debara, and it appears that in March 23rd, the issue journal of the American Medical Association explained that people are 3.5 times more likely to have a heart attack when exercising compared to when they are at rest. Likewise, people are 2.7 times more likely to have a heart attack when they're having sex if they don't exercise. Yeah, so it's either exercise and live longer, or I can die young, eating what I want, smoking, drinking, and I can die fucking. That's going to motivate lots of people to get off their arse, isn't it? That's it for this week's Dix O'Clock News. I'm Richard the Dick Coughlin. Fuck off.